Yo, tapping in real quick. Something light, nothing major. Peace and blessings and all that. You know what I'm talking about? Hopefully everybody's Tuesday has kicked off properly. And your week will go according to plan. You know what I'm talking about? Nothing too crazy about this video right here. We just gonna sit here for a few minutes for what it's worth and chop it up about this incoming UFC fight night that's taking place in London, England, and kicking off at the O2 Arena. We have 14 fights to talk about, and that main event is an absolute banger, in my personal opinion, in the featherweight division between the current ranked number 4 featherweight in the world, Masvar Evloev, and the current ranked number 10 featherweight in the world, Lerone Murphy, the Miracle. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. Not necessarily sure what this lineup's going to look like come fight night, but this is the one that I have in front of me this afternoon. So this is very much so the one that we're going to rock with. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. That first fight of the night, that is women's MMA. We have Melissa Mullins versus Luana Carolina. Melissa Mullins opened up plus 100, near even, no mess, 34 years old, 5'7" with a 68-inch reach, taking on Luana Dread, minus 120, near even, 32 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach, man. And it is what it is, man. It's women's MMA. It's the first fight of the night. There's honestly question marks on both sides. So that's 3 reasons right there for a complete pass, in my personal opinion. You understand what I'm saying to you? But I'm gonna go ahead and rock with Melissa Mullins in this one, man, to get this one done in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Don't mind me. I'm just pulling things up real quick, man. You know what I mean? We down here at the bottom with shorty. Bing, bow, boom, bop, bit. There's what a... two-year there we go. Yeah, 2-year youth advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage for Luana. Luana lands 4.65 strikes on average per minute at a 51% striking accuracy. Melissa, 3.71 at a 50. 52 on the defense for Melissa, 51 on the defense for Luana. Takedowns on average over the course of 15 minutes. 2 get secured at a 42% takedown accuracy for Melissa with an 85% takedown defense. 0.30 for Luana at a 37% takedown accuracy, and rightfully so. She's not really shooting for the takedown. You understand what I'm saying to you? With a 68% takedown defense. It is what it is, man. Highly competitive, closely contested. One of these young women is just ever so slightly going to edge it, in my personal opinion, for the split or majority decision. Is there a night where this fight finishes? You know what I'm saying? That is possible. It is possible. If Luana is, unable to take what's coming her way. Spinning elbow from Molly McCann. I remember that night. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Michelle took her down 5 times in her last fight to take that decision. Joanne Wood took her down. Molly McCann took her down. De Silva took her down. And then the fights where she won, no takedowns, no takedowns. Pollyanna and Lupe took her down, and she still skated the split decisions. Ivana took her down. Juliana took her down once. Lucy took her down twice, and she was able to skate out. But I mean, these are just all unimpressive wins, and same for the losses, man. And on the other side, it's the same situation. Really nothing to call home about. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. I'm rocking with Melissa Mullins. I'm taking the near even slight dog in this matchup for a match, for a fight that I really want nothing to do with. I have not a high level of interest in it at all, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, other than a prelim parlay bet, because it is one of the more closely lined fights. We're dealing with minus 800s, 800s, 600s, 450s, 450s, 300s. So finding the proper side, of these more closely lined fights is where the bag is going to come at the end of the night. I'm rocking with Melissa Mullins. I'm taking the plus money, and I'm banking on her to mix in that all-around body of work. She's at a 2-year youth disadvantage, 32 to 34. We're not talking about a whole lot. You understand what I'm saying to you? And she's at a 1-inch reach disadvantage. Again, we're not talking about a whole lot. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's going to be highly competitive. It's going to be closely contested. And like I said, in my personal opinion, one of these young women is just ever so slightly going to edge it. And I'm siding with Melissa Mullins to be the one to do that and get this one done. You know what I mean? And it doesn't hurt. Let me see if I'm not mistaken that she's from over there. You know what I mean? This is a United Kingdom card over there in the UK or whatever, and she's from over there on them side of things. So if it goes to the cards and it's highly competitive, closely contested, and she ever so slightly edges it by mixing in the all-around body of work, the wrestling, the grappling, securing a takedown or two, if not 3 or 4, and some control time, I feel like she gets the nod. And if she can find a finish in the process, we'll take that too. Moving on, man. Women's MMA, we have the Nightmare, Chanel Dyer, minus 350. 24 years old, 5'6" with a 65-inch reach. She's taking on Ravina. I do not know how to say Ravina's nickname. Plus 260, 29 years old, 5'5", with a 65-inch reach. So the Nightmare, Chanel, for what it's worth, 24 to 29. She possesses a 5-year youth advantage and a 1-inch height advantage. They both have a 65-inch reach. 6-1 in Chanel. 6-1 for Chanel. 7-3-1 for Ravine, who hasn't had a good run since coming into the UFC. It is what it is. Prior to that, she was doing her 1-2, with the exception of an Ezekiel choke in 2018. She drew a draw in her first fight, got choked out in her second fight, and she fought somebody as a 0-1-1 individual herself that was 0-0, and she got that dub. Then she's 1-1-1 fighting somebody who's 0-1, and she gets that dub. 2-1-1 fighting somebody who's 1-1, gets that dub. 3-1-1 fighting somebody who's 0-0. 4-1-1 fighting somebody who's 0-0. 5-1-1 fighting somebody who's 0-0. 6-1-1 fighting somebody who's 8-5, and then she runs into Lisboa and Luciana, and this shit just doesn't fly anymore. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now on the other side of things, it's not anything magnificent going on, but there is, there's an amateur career. You know what I'm saying? She fought Ivana and got ground and pounded as an amateur. She lost to Shauna Bannon as an amateur via ground and pound as well, right? Two individuals who have not fared well inside the UFC. Losing in Muay Thai. 0-2, 1-0, 4-2, 11-7-2, 9-2, 3-2. At least she's fighting people who are fighting, right? And then she takes a loss to somebody who's 8-1 when she's 6-0. I mean, there's nothing magnificent about either one of these young women, nothing to call home about. You understand what I'm saying to you? A whole lot of things to frown on them about, if we're being honest, when we're talking about the level of opposition. But this is the level of opposition you get you know, when you first coming into the mix, unless you just get tossed in the motherfucking, you know, deep end type shit. 4 knockouts, 2 decisions, 1 decision loss. Ravina. On the other side, 6 knockout wins, 1 submission win, 2 submission losses, 1 decision loss. She doesn't know what it's like to win when it goes to the cards, but she does know what it's like to catch, clip, and disconnect an individual from their consciousness, man. Boy, oh boy, 4 knockouts going up against 6 knockouts. 4 knockouts and 2 decision wins against 4 knockouts, some submission wins, and no decision wins. So, you know, one would like to believe there's a 5-year youth advantage, a 1-inch height advantage, but no reach advantage. There's no significant level of opposition difference. You understand what I'm saying to you as far as what they've been competing up against? They both kind of did what they needed to do or what they should have been doing until they met a little bit of fucking resistance, and then the shit didn't fly anymore. You know what I'm saying? I guess we just have one who's coming off of her first loss via unanimous decision, while the other one is on what? A 2-fight skid. You know what I'm saying? Since coming into the UFC. But she fought Lisboa, you know what I'm saying? Who then went on to lose to Luana Santos and motherfucking Melissa Croden. Oh my God, and she fought Luciana, which lost to Hughes, beat the girl that she beat on the drew a draw to on the Contender Series, but it also beat earlier in her motherfucking career, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it just is what it is, man. The wins, the losses, the level of opposition, it's just a shit show. I don't know that anything justifies a minus 350 price tag. You're coming off your first loss. She's coming off she's coming off of 2 losses. Both of y'all got them losses when you got around this tier of opposition. You got 4 knockouts and 2 decisions. That's the only thing that really has me going with Chanel, if I'm being honest, man, because there's at 29 and 24, at 29, she might have learned a little bit more. She might have covered and spun a few more, covered a little bit more proving ground and spun a few more learning curves. You understand what I'm saying to you? She might be a little, after these 2 losses, she's already suffered a loss and then another loss right after that. This girl's coming off of her first loss. Who's to say she doesn't suffer another loss right after that to this young lady? You know what I'm saying? 6 knockouts, man. She can catch you, clip you, and disconnect you. But she doesn't do well, I guess, if she doesn't catch you, clip you, disconnect you, or submit you. Because playing around with the submission, she's been submitted, and when it goes to a decision, she's lost that decision. Old girl Chanel, she's won both those decisions when it's going to the decision. Well, she's won 2 out of the 3 when it's going to a decision. So one would like to think that maybe, she's a bit more cleaner and crisper. I mean, you go look at both of their tape, which you can find on them, and you just got to take into consideration who it's, who they're performing this well up against and how many others have performed that well up against them as well and will continue to do so after that night. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's a shit show, man. Chanel has proven that she can get it done on the cards, though, and I feel like this is another women's fight. It's going to be highly competitive, closely contested, tight like ant pussy. Nothing about that money line is going to be fucking justified, in my personal opinion, because it's going to be a split or a majority decision where both of these young women get their names rang off, Dyer, Oliveira, and one of them's going to get the nod. And somebody might be mad as a motherfucker at the end of the night. But I'm rocking with Chanel, who's proven she can get it done on the cards. They get it done on the cards, essentially in her backyard, because she's another one from over there. And I feel like this fight, like I said, highly competitive, closely contested. One of these young women is just ever so slightly going to edge it. I don't see a finish happening in this matchup. And if it does, it might be Chanel getting knocked the fuck out by Ravina. All reasons to leave these fucking women's fights alone. You understand what I'm saying to you? With all due respect, women just go. They go. Especially that they're this low on the card. Like, you have 2 women's fights, right? And then what? Nothing, no more women all the way up the card. So it's like you get these women out the way, and then the last impression on everybody's mind is all these men's fights, you know what I mean? So they really go out there and try to leave a lasting impression. That's why we get these splits, these majorities, and every once in a while, we'll get a motherfucking finish more, more so recently than, what we're used to, if I'm not mistaken, you know what I'm saying? But it, these women, bang, I don't have nothing against the women fights. I just don't like betting on them because nothing about the price tags are usually justified, and you never know what you're going to get because they showing up to show out and try to, go up against 12 more bouts to get a knockout of the night or the submission of the night. And if that doesn't happen, performance of the night or fight of the night. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's why these women fights are so hard to get a read on, regardless of what the money line suggests, because they're trying to get that motherfucking bonus too. But there might be one women fight and 12 men fights. You know what I mean? Two women's fights and 12 or 13 men fights, man. And the way they place them, so many more men fight are going to happen after these women's fights. You kind of forget what took place in them motherfuckers, and it's hard for them to get them bonuses. So I don't have nothing against them. They just a complete pass for the most part because it's women's MMA. You know what I mean? Undetermined on what the level of opposition is for these women any fucking way. We've seen where what may actually be their ceiling. We may have seen them meet that already in her 2 losses and her 1 loss. And then these two competing against each other might be the level of opposition they belong on, and we might get a fight of the night contender, you know what I mean? Because it's so fucking competitive, man. It just is what it is. For all of these, man, I'm rocking with Melissa and I'm rocking with Chanel, and we're going to keep it pushing. You know what I'm talking about? We have Shamrock, plus 105, near even, 32 years old, 5'11" with a 73-inch reach. He's taking on the Pride of Palestine. I don't know how to say old boy name. Minus 125, 30 years old, 5'8", with a 69-inch reach. There is a 2-year youth advantage for the Pride of Palestine, but he is also at a 3-inch height disadvantage and a 4-inch reach disadvantage. I believe he is probably at a power and a speed disadvantage. What is the Pride of Palestine's advantages in this matchup, man? You know what I mean? Because that 30% takedown accuracy up against the 80% takedown defense. Now, I know that 80% big takedown defense is only accumulated up against, one fight. We only have 1 fight to go off of that, and that's against old boy, but we only have 2 fights to go off of here. Dana White Contender Series and a UFC debut for the Pride of Palestine. We have a UFC debut for Shamrock, and that UFC debut for Shamrock was a hell of a lot harder than any one of these fights that Pride of Palestine has had on his whole entire resume, in my personal opinion. Nurila, I don't know how you say Narulo. I don't know how you say his last name. I don't even know if I'm saying his first name right, but, boy is solid. You know what I'm saying? Boy is solid, in my personal opinion. 4-0 inside the UFC. You know what I mean? Josh Wick, Hafel, Joe Selecki, and then Shamrock. You know what I'm saying? He gets the job done. He's well-rounded. He's solid. That's a tough UFC debut. You can't frown on him for that. And he's still, an 80% takedown defense. It is what it is, man. That was accumulated against a higher level of opposition, and what this 30% takedown accuracy was accumulated against, in my personal opinion. 42% on the striking accuracy and 56% on the defense for Shamrock, with a 4-inch reach and a 3-inch height advantage. 34 on the accuracy for Pride of Palestine, and 59 on the defense. 30 on the accuracy with 2 takedowns secured, and 20 on the defense for the Pride of Palestine. 1 takedown secured with only 11% accuracy and an 80% takedown defense for Shamrock, man. It is what it is, man. I'm rocking with Shamrock. I'm rocking with another slight dog. I honestly feel like Shamrock could go out here and catch, clip, and disconnect this young man from his consciousness, which wouldn't surprise or shock anybody, you know what I mean? But I also do think he could be the first one to catch him slipping, place him in a compromisable position, and get the submission. Shamrock, 2 knockout wins, 1 knockout loss, 9 submission wins, 1 decision win, 1 decision loss. He likes to get it done inside the distance. He doesn't like for it to go to the cards. On the other side, the Pride of Palestine, 8 knockout wins, 4 knockout losses, 2 submission wins, no losses, 5 decision wins, no losses. You understand what I'm saying to you? So the only time he loses is inside the distance if he gets finished, because he tends to produce a better body of work over the course of 15 minutes than his opponents as of yet. You understand what I'm saying to you? I think Shamrock can catch, clip, and disconnect this young man from his consciousness yet again. But if that doesn't happen, I think Shamrock catches him, cracks him, rocks him, hurts him, hops on him, and is the first one to sink in a submission on him. So I'm taking Shamrock, man, to be the one to get this one done inside the distance in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Moving on, man. The Vanilla Gorilla versus the Balkan Bear. The Vanilla Gorilla versus the Balkan Bear. We got the Gorilla versus the motherfucking Bear. What the fuck is gonna happen here, man? Huh? What's gonna go on here, man? The Vanilla Gorilla. The Vanilla Gorilla, man. Plus 220. 32 years old, 264.5 pounds, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. He's taking on the Balkan Bear, minus 270, 31 years old, 261 pounds, 6'5" with a 79.5-inch reach. The Vanilla Gorilla, the Balkan Bear, has a 1-year youth advantage, a 3.5-inch reach advantage, and a 2-inch height advantage. The Vanilla Gorilla, Louis, 10-4, 8 knockouts, no losses, 1 submission loss, 2 decision wins, 3 decision losses. He likes to get it done with that motherfucker. He likes to, you know what I mean? Gorilla shit, silverback shit, bing bow, boom bit, you know what I mean? That's how he like to get it done. On the other side, 4 knockout wins, 1 submission win, 1 submission loss, no decision wins, 100% finishing accurate, 100% finish rate intact. Doesn't know what it's like to go to the cards as of yet. And I'm taking another young man to get this one done and improve to 6-1. That's Brando, minus 270, the Balkan Bear, and win his first decision. I don't think he's going to get Louis out of there. I do not know that Louis got 8 knockout wins and no losses. He's got 1 submission loss. Now, the Balkan Bear does have 1 submission win along with 1 submission loss. So I don't think this one's going down to the ground at all. 2 decision wins and 3 decision losses for Louis, the Vanilla Gorilla Sutherland, and Brando, the Balkan Bear. Don't know how to say that last name, so we're not even going to go there. 4 knockout wins, 1 submission win, 1 submission loss. Never been to the cards. And my call is this Saturday. He gets this one done via unanimous decision, 2 rounds to 1. The Balkan Bear over the Vanilla Gorilla. I know I'm going with a lot of these motherfuckers from over there, man. But you know, the city kickboxing, the individuals that he gets his rounds and his time in with, the fact that this is going to be on the feet with another individual who likes to crack. I think he just needs to stay out of the phone booth, stay out of the danger zone, you know, play that range game, and handle his business, man. Get it done via unanimous decision. Moving on. MK. We're going to call him MK versus Antonio is taking on MK. Antonio opened up a plus 400, 35 years old, 6'5" with an 80-inch reach. He's taking on MK. Heavy favorite, minus 575. 26 years old, 6'2" with a 75.5-inch reach. There is a 9-year youth advantage for MK. There is a 3-inch height advantage and a 4.5-inch reach advantage for Antonio, who has those physical attributes. So he holds those advantages over most everybody he steps in there with. 3 knockout wins, 2 knockout losses, 5 submission wins, 2 submission losses, 4 decision wins, 2 decision losses. He likes to get it done in every fucking department. He is an opportunist, is Antonio. MK, on the other side of things, man, unranked, for good reason. 6-0 as far as knockouts, my bad. 6 knockout wins, 0 losses, 2 submission wins, 1 loss, 0 decision wins. This is where things get spicy, man. You know what I mean? This is where shit got weird, you know, for those 2 favorites on the card the other week, man, were Bellotto. It's like the boys won 1, lost 1, draw 1, no contest 1. Mixed bag. He's all over the place. It's a roller coaster, but it's a mixed bag all over the place, and it's a roller coaster inside the UFC promotion up against a different level of opposition than what these other dudes been getting. And then they step in there 6-0 and they get fucking flatlined and it's over. You know what I mean? And then you have Dair. And it's like, you can get Dair up out of there via submission like everybody else gets Dair up out of there. But if you want to play around with a kickboxer on the fucking feet and kickbox with him, you know, you're going to fuck around and lose the way old boy lost, man. You know what I mean? Like, we have these people who look real good, you know what I mean? 100% finishing rate intact, knocking jokers out left and right, submitting jokers, choking jokers out, just doing whatever the fuck they want to do to folk, right? So we see these, they get placed in there with these motherfuckers that just kind of been getting handled in the UFC, and they're a heavy favorite, and we're like, yeah, rightfully so. That's, you know what I mean? They're going to justify that. They're going to smoke this fool, and then we all look like fucking clowns when this shit goes the other way around. You know what I mean? Like, what was it, Austin Lane or somebody who came in there and decided to wrestle one night and submitted a motherfucker after just getting loss after loss after loss, and then you come in here and catch a dub as a heavy dog? What the fuck is going on? And then you're right back to losing and you're out the promotion type shit. You never know what you're gonna get with these cats, man. You know? That one loss, man, it's a submission loss. Now, he's got 2 submission wins, you know? But one would like to think, I'm gonna go with MK. I'm going to rock with MK. I'm just saying, MK's over the minus 500 money line. So MK's not getting parlayed up by me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I'm not worried about none of that shit. If I parlay up MK, it's going to be a prop parlay. So I can, you know, like a violence parlay or something like that with multiple motherfuckers to get it done inside a distance in certain ways by methods or something like that. Other than that, I don't want nothing to do with a minus 500, man. Because he fuck around and get choked out. You know what I'm saying? Fuck around and lose a decision to a fucking Antonio. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is, man. I'm rocking with MK. He's got a 9-year youth advantage. He's at a 3-inch height advantage. He's at a 4.5-inch reach disadvantage. And if we're being all the way honest, he's probably at a bit of a disadvantage. I mean, come on. Like, Mansour Abdul Malik, Shara Magomedov, like, we could do without Tresean Gore, but like these aren't horrible people. Since, you know what I mean, he fought Diego Lima, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not horrible people that Antonio has fought and lost to. Mansour, not a horrible loss. Shara, not a horrible loss, you know what I'm saying? Diego Lima, it's not a horrible loss. You feel what I'm saying to you? Back in 2016, you know what I mean, in Legacy FC, like, it's not a horrible loss, you feel me? It is a different level of opposition than anything MK has had to face, you know. Yeah, at all, in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So nothing would surprise me in this matchup, you know what I'm saying? MK's the pick. I don't know how you say that boy's name. But moving on, Mario Pinto, you know. -5. He's like a -800 now. Some of these jokers are -800 since, like, the money lines are -800, -800, -600, -450, -450, -300, -260. This is just Tapology, and I guess what they opened at or something, because the money lines are crazy. But moving on, man. Mario Pinto, -550, 28 years old, 255, 6'5" with a 79-inch reach, taking on Philippe, plus 390, 25 years old, 6'1" with a 76-inch reach. 76-inch reach. And yeah, Philippe, he lost via submission. That's how that went down. That is exactly how that went down, and it was a Contender Series. Me and the bro Remy was just talking about that earlier. That's exactly how that went down. Yeah, won't do it to me again, Scrap. You know what I'm saying? Won't do it to me again, man. Listen, he lost via submission. That's his only loss, right? Mario has one victory via submission, but he's fitting to get his boy his first loss via catching, clipping, and disconnecting him from his consciousness. It is what it is. I'm not gonna take much more time with that one. I think Pinto's just gonna get him up out of there, man. If it's not the first round, it's the first minute of the second round. In my personal opinion, he's gonna he gonna make that boy kiss the canvas, or he gonna bounce his motherfucking back his head off the canvas. You understand what I'm saying? Moving on, we have Nathaniel Wood, the last Kingsman, plus 155, 32 years old, 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. He's taking on the Black Panther. I don't know how to pronounce old boy's name, so I'm not even going to motherfucking chew it up like that. Minus 180, 28 years old, 5'8". 154 was his last weigh in, so does he normally fight? He was fighting up on that last one. Does he normally fight it motherfucking lightweight, man? Like I watch old boys tape and shit, but we're most of these all at 155. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, old boy been doing the 155 thing for quite some time, right? That's where he been at. Nah, he did some 145. He fights some more. He's a little mixed bag, I guess, between the featherweight and the lightweight division for old boy. 10 knockout wins, 1 knockout loss, no submission wins, no submission losses, 6 decision wins. He tends to get you out of there inside the distance via catching, clipping, and disconnecting you from your consciousness. He's solid and well-rounded enough to keep himself out of, too much danger, obviously. And if it goes to the cards, he's produced a good enough body of work, a well enough rounded body of work to get the nod in his favor over his opposition as of yet. You understand what I'm saying to you? Ew, 20, 39, and 1 is crazy. I even do his 1-2 though. Yeah, it's just different, man. It's just different. Nathaniel Wood, 22-6-0, 7 knockout wins, 2 knockout losses. You know what I mean? 6 submission wins, 2 submission losses, 9 decision wins, 2 decision losses. So he can get it done, and he can get done in every single department. You understand what I'm saying to you? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. There is a 4-year youth advantage for the Black Panther. There is a 2-inch height advantage for the Black Panther. And on here, it's not telling me. Does it tell me over here? There is a 4-inch reach advantage. So we have the youth advantage, the height advantage, and the reach advantage, all going to the Black Panther, who I also believe has the speed and the power advantage. With all that being said, one would think that the play is on the Black Panther, right? I'm rocking with Nathaniel Wood, man. I'm rocking with Nathaniel Wood, boy. Black Panther, his one loss comes from getting knocked out. He has 6 victories via decision. I believe Nathaniel Wood gives him his first loss via split or majority decision. I could be wrong. I'm picking Nathaniel Wood. When it comes to betting, when it comes to parlaying, I'll be applying the swap out option. I'm find what I believe to be my main legs, my locks of the night, and then I'll apply this fight to it. I'll duplicate that ticket, and I'll go the other way. You know what I'm saying? I'll do Nathaniel Wood as a third or fourth leg. Then I'll do the ticket over, and I'll do the Black Panther as the third or fourth leg. Just apply that swap out option to cover my back door. If the Black Panther wins, I do believe it's via knockout. I don't know that he can beat up Nathaniel Wood for 15 minutes. I don't know that Nathaniel Wood can take that kind of beating for 15 minutes. So I think if the Black Panther wins, it's via KO, TKO, inside the distance, catching, clipping, and disconnecting Nathaniel Wood from his consciousness, and everybody's going to feel real bad about it because it's going to be fucking brutal. But Nathaniel Wood knows that, and Nathaniel Wood is notorious for coming in here and the same way he did Jose Delgado and took his 0 from him, and the same way he did Morgan Sherry. And like, if I'm not mistaken, I know Jose Delgado fight was in that was definitely a UK fight. The Morgan fight, he was an underdog in both of them. You understand what I'm saying to you? And he finds a way to come through, you know, more times than not when he's an underdog, and you'll catch him dropping the motherfucking fight when he's a favorite. And one thing has nothing to do with the other. It's all worth consideration, though, in my personal opinion. You know what I mean? And there's only one of them, I believe, probably on both records, but it's a win for one and a loss for the other. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, or, you know, a decision we got over here with in the grappling. Listen, that's what Nathaniel's gonna come out here and do. He's gonna mix it up. He's gonna mix it up. He's gonna try to motherfucking neutralize that power and that speed and that threat coming from the Black Panther by putting him down, by racking up some control time, by putting him up against the cage, working on him up against the cage, looking for the sweeps and the trips and trying to get this young man down. Now, I know, if I'm being honest, more times than not, if we ran this fight 10 times, the Black Panther probably wins 6 or 7 of them. So I should probably be taking the Black Panther as a pick. You know what I'm saying? Just because more times than not, he's probably going to find that shot that's going to put Nathaniel down. But something inside of me, maybe it's the degenerate, the hard-headedness of a motherfucker, is just saying Nathaniel's going to go out here and find a way to get this one done yet again. Because if he doesn't, it's because he got starched. I could be dead ass wrong, but like I said, that's why I'm applying the swap out option when it comes to betting a parlaying as far as a pick. You know, I'm grabbing my nuts and I'm taking the kid. Give me Nathaniel Wood. You know what I mean? Moving on. The Dragon, Mason Jones, minus 135. $30 years old, 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. He's taking on Axel, plus 105. 28 years old, 6'2", with a 74-inch reach. And it is what it is, man. Mason Jones is solid. Mason Jones is well-rounded. Mason Jones has proven that he can be fucking dangerous in certain situations. You know, but he also proved that he can be neutralized. And the Ludovic Klein fight is one that I go back to. And I just kind of feel like Axel's going to be able to go out there and implement his all-around body of work. Meaning he's going to be able to implement the wrestling, implement the grappling a little bit better than that of Mason Jones, and that frustrates Mason Jones. Mason Jones doesn't work well when he's frustrated. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's something I've noticed about him. Axel's a bit calm. He's like cool as a cucumber type individual. You know what I mean? Him and fucking the Hatcher Sosa, or however you say his name, and fucking what's my man's name? What's my man's name that did the Cuban Problem boy? And what's my man that be twerking on jokers? You know what I mean? Man, I can't think of his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Him, Hatcher Sosa, Axel, Sola. Like when you see them, you know what I mean, and you're talking to them, or when they square up, man, they just like kind of happy to be there and smiling, just happy with life and real calm, like real It's like a real serious fucking riptide underneath them calm waters, though. They real calm and coolly, man. Like the other side of the motherfucking pillow, and then that switch hits, and these motherfuckers just get to the shits inside that cage, man. You know what I'm saying? So I like the boy. I like his demeanor. I like how he handles himself. You know what I'm saying? In the shits, under pressure, whatever. All the way in the mix. I fuck with him, man. And I feel like Mason Jones, you know, he had his little he had his little time, you know. And they sent him on his way, and they brought him on back over here to fight Jeremy Stevens. So that went well, and they gave him the shot at Balaki, and now here he is against Axel, and I think Axel's gonna give him an L. You know what I mean? And if they're not done with him, then they'll properly pair him up with some. They'll probably properly pair him up with somebody else moving forward after this loss. That'll give him another loss, and then they'll cut their motherfucking ties with him, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and side with that slight dog near even and Axel to get it done, man. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. Mason's he ain't nobody's chump. 2 decision losses. He ain't never been caught, clipped, or disconnected from his consciousness. He ain't never been submitted or finished inside the distance. You know what I'm talking about? And old boy can get it done. Old boy can get it done via decision as well. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to finish him to catch this dub. Not my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of this one, but this is one of those closely lined fights, and I'm just trying to find myself on a proper side of that motherfucker, babe. You know? And we're going to have to see how it goes. Moving on. Curtis Campbell versus Danny Silva. The Pink Panther versus El Puma, motherfucker. You know what I'm talking about? The Pink Panther versus El Puma. Stop playing, man. The Pink Panthers are minus 175, 23 years old, 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. El Puma, 29 years old, 5'11" with a 70-inch reach. The Pink Panther holds a 6-year youth advantage. The youth advantage over El Puma, but El Puma holds a 2-inch height advantage over Pink Panther, but then the Pink Panther comes back with a 2-inch reach advantage over El Puma, man. But then the El Puma smacks back with a slightly higher level of opposition difference that he's been competing against as of yet. El Puma and the Pink Panthers pugging it the fuck out right now, son. It's going down, man. 8-0 for the Pink Panther, man. 5 knockouts, 1 submission, and 2 decisions, just to prove we can get it done via going the distance, via locking up the submission, or catching, clipping the individual and disconnecting him from his consciousness. The only loss ever suffered was in the amateur career to Liam McCracken. You know what I'm saying? Liam McCracken got the dub over him as a motherfucking amateur. But other than that, he been cruising doing his little 1-2. We gonna have to see how this one go. El Puma's nobody's chump stop. You know what I'm talking about? 5 knockout wins, 0 submission wins, 5 decision wins, 2 decision losses. He don't know what it's like to get dealt with inside the distance or lose via going to the cards, man. Kevin Vahalos and Kanan, like we could do without that. Kanan loss is dirty work. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, he went to the cards with Kevin Vahalos. You know, he did his little 1-2, and you know what I mean? But we could do without this motherfucking Kanan loss, man. That's just me, though. That's just me, though, man. It's a tough one, Curtis Campbell. It's a tough one, Curtis Campbell. What you gonna do, Kurt? What you gonna do, Kurt? Fuck you gonna do, man? Danny ain't nobody chump stop, nephew. That's all for what's that, one showing? Crazy stat, but one showing, you know what I mean? Dana White Contender Series, 1 round showing. Danny Silva's got a few fights in the UFC, man. 3-1. Only losing to motherfucking Kevin Vahalos and man. Is Curtis Campbell really that guy? Is he built like that? Like maybe he can get these takedowns. And that's gonna be the deciding factor, is the takedowns. Takedown accuracy of Kevin Vahalos is 28%, and he got the takedowns on Danny. Man, this is a tough one, man. Because Danny's no sucker, you know what I'm talking about? But we gonna give it to the hometown boy to edge out a decision. If he can't be the first one to get Danny out of there via submission, he better watch himself, though. He better watch himself. They ain't put him in a nice position for a UFC debut. Curtis Campbell's the pick, man, with extreme caution. But moving forward to another one that needs caution tape placed all over this motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? Now, I get it. Roman Dolidze plus 270, 37 years old, 6'2" with a 76-inch reach. He's taking on CLD. 30 years old, 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. CLD holds a 7-year youth advantage. They're both 6'2". CLD also holds a 3-inch reach advantage. So a 7-year youth advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. But if we're being honest, that experience of competing up against the higher level of opposition advantage and being successful of competing against that higher level of opposition advantage goes to Roman Dolidze. Christian Leroy Duncan fumbled the bag as a favorite in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, to Gregory Rodriguez, which is not a bad loss. But he also fumbled the bag as a favorite to Armin Petrosian. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, them two losses come from them two individuals. And Roman Dolidze, again, nobody's chump stop. You know? You're losing to Gregory Rodriguez and you're losing to Armin Petrosian, if I'm not mistaken, because they both secured a takedown on you. Gregory Rodriguez secured 4 takedowns on you. A bit more for the unanimous decision in your backyard, Edwards versus Muhammad. And then Armin Petrosian outstruck you on the feet significantly and then secured a takedown also to edge you out on the cards. Roman Dolidze, just my personal opinion, if Gregory Rodriguez and Armin Petrosian are able to secure takedowns on you, if Roman Dolidze so wishes to, he would be able to as well. Roman's nobody's chump, man. He just lost to Anthony via rear naked choke, but prior to that, beat Marvin Vettori, landed 141 significant strikes. Like, that could be problematic, man. Knocked out Kevin Holland, unanimous decision over Lionheart. He dropped it to Nasruddin Imavov, but in my personal opinion, so the fuck with CLD, to be determined what he does with a Nasruddin Imavov. You know what I mean? He lost to Marvin Vettori, but we saw he revenged that later on up the road. Beat Jack, beat Phil, beat Kyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, excuse me. It's just a different level of opposition in my personal opinion, man. Like, you beat Dusko, welcome to the club. You lost to Armin Petrosian. You beat Dennis, welcome to the club. Claudio, welcome to the club. You lost to Gregory Rodriguez. You beat Aubrey, welcome to the club. Eric Anders, welcome to the club, with the exception of Bradley Tavares. And then you beat Marco Tulio. I mean, bro, there's really nothing impressive about that in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And those names, you know what I mean? They're just, I guess they're not Anthony Hernandez and Marvin Vittori. You know what I'm saying? Nasruddin Imavov and Jack Herman. They're just not even those names. They're not even Phil Halls or Kyle Dawkins. You know what I'm saying? Jack Hermanson. Like, it's just, it's not. It's not. It's a different level of opposition. 100 significant strikes landed, 141 significant strikes landed. He loses a decision. He lands 59 significant strikes. Petrosian lands 89. He loses a decision. He lands 29 strikes. Gregory lands 45 and secures 4 takedowns. Knockout, 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 knockout. Like, this is what CLD does. He knocks you out for the dub. Gee, is he going to be the first one inside the UFC to knock out Roman Dolidze, or is he going to beat Roman Dolidze via decision? Like, he lost and he threw low volume, but that was against Nasruddin Imavov. And even when he lost this decision, 3 rounds against Marvin Vittori, he threw 71 to Marvin's 106. Old boys over here throwing 50 and 49 and 24 and shit. You know what I'm saying? Roman Dolidze, he throws low. That's because he secured 5 takedowns. You know what I mean? If he secures 5 takedowns on you, then this fight looks like the Gregory Rodriguez fight. This is rough, bro. This is rough. This is rough. Oh, yeah, this is rough. I'm going to say maybe he finds a way to skate out a decision over Roman Dolidze. Maybe he finishes Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze's never been knocked out. He's only been submitted. It doesn't mean he doesn't get knocked out for the first time now. I'll deal with it in a second. Is it Dre? Is it Jay?
I don't know who it is. Some old lady, I think.
Oh, come on, man. They gonna have to hold on a second. Yeah, this is a rough one, man. We've seen a lot of folk who ain't never been finished get finished as of lately. I'm gonna side with CLD. This Ewo and Lawson Lane is up next. Ewo is a big favorite. They call him Rudy, rightfully so. Minus 410, 27 years old, 6 feet tall with a 73.6 inch reach. Taking on Austin, 38 years old, plus 300, 245 pounds, 6'6" with an 80-inch reach, 6-inch height advantage, 6.4-inch reach advantage, a bit of an experience advantage. And this could be one of them ones, huh? Hold on a second, man. Oh, never mind. She went across the street, knocking on the homie door now. Let Mark handle that shit, you know what I'm saying? This could get spicy, man. This could get very fucking spicy. This could get very fucking spicy. 1-4 in his last 5. You hear that dog has been barking ever since we got to this fight, man. Ewo's on skates against Ebo. Like, Ebo had Ewo hurt. They were both hurting that motherfucker. What are these losses? That's a decision. It says lost, but it doesn't tell me how he lost. It's like you know this kid for his reckless and his just as reckless and as aggressive as Evo is, you know he's gonna get starched or he's gonna get choked out. Something's gonna happen to him at some point in time. Is Austin Lane the one that's gonna do it to him? I mean, he did it to Robelis de Spain. He drug him the fuck out. 5 knockout wins, 2 submission wins. Austin, can you get it done, Austin? God, you looking rough, man. You know what? Fuck it, man. Give me Austin Lane, man. Give me Austin Lane to get this one done. Huh? I might have to roll up another one now. I got smoke again just for making that pick. Give me Austin Lane, man. Give me Austin Lane, man. I know Robelis de Spain was taller, easier to take down and drag out. Jonathan Denise, Justin Tafa, they're more of like, you know, short, heavier built type month. Well, Justin Tafa anyway. Jonathan Denise not so much so. He's kind of built like Dair. Him and Dair kind of built the same. Tafa and this guy, Tafa might even be a bit fucking more put together than this guy. Pinto and Petrino. Petrino's a fucking muscle shark, and Pinto, he just fills his frame out. Almost like a Robelis de Spain, but he actually got an all-around game. Fuck it, man. Grabbing my nuts, man. We in the doghouse. Why the fuck not, right? Give me Austin Lane, man, via submission. Michael Venom Page versus Sam Patterson. We're not gonna act like Michael Venom Page can't get cracked. You know what I'm saying? Diego Limo cracked him on that dumbass. Who was it? It was a leg kick, wasn't it? That leg when he came up off that shit, bow with the uppercut. Yeah. So you know he can get caught. He can get caught. And if anybody is gonna catch you, it's a Sam Patterson, man. You know, Trey Waters, different person. You know what I mean? And I know Yanal cracked him and put him under. Trey, you know, Danny Barlow, these is all different people that he's fighting, different level of opposition by far. And the people that have finished him are by far a way lower level of opposition. You know what I mean? I don't know where the ceiling is for Sam Patterson. But both of these motherfuckers are fighting in their backyard, man. One's a bit more of a, you know, loved name than the other who's up and coming in the game. Michael Venom Page, minus 250, 38, 6'3", 79 inches. Sam Patterson, plus 195, 29 years old, 6'3", with a 78-inch reach. And this is what is this fight at? What is this fight at? This fight's at 170. Page's last weight was 185 because that's who he fought Jared Cannonier at. I can dig it. I can dig it. That's where he fought Shara at too, right? He came down to 170 for E and then he lost. He beat Kevin. Mike. Sam can hit, man. Sam can crack. And Michael Venom Page is not a high volume striker. I mean, at all. He just kind of goes out there and, 29 significant strikes. And when you look at the numbers on that fight, he made it look cleaner than Jared Cannonier. But come on, man. Jared Cannonier outstruck him. But significant strikes, Michael Venom Page landed 29 to Jared Cannonier's 20. But Jared Cannonier also got the 2 takedowns and some control time. You know what I mean? And then even when you beat Shara, it was like 43 significant strikes to 38. He's not a high volume striker. When you lost to Ian Gary, you landed 21 significant strikes to his 19, 2 takedowns, and 2 submission attempts. And if Sam Patterson does not like how it's going on the feet, and you guys stand 6'3 to 6'3, 79 to 78 inches, you know what I mean? Switch stance to orthodox. If he doesn't like how it's going on the feet, he will mix and try to get this thing down to the ground. He will search for the submission. He will edge this decision, in my personal opinion. Like, if Michael Venom Page doesn't get him out of there via catching, clipping, and disconnecting him from his consciousness, which I don't think he'll be able to do, I don't think he beats Sam Patterson, man. I don't think they're that biased on the scorecards when these 2 young men, one who's, it could be like a passing of the torch situation over there in the UK. They're both from over there. They both rep that flag. They both rep that side. You know what I'm saying? So when this one goes to the cards, it could be a passing of the torch type of situation, man. They might not be mad, at giving Wolford England's Sam Patterson the dub, you know what I mean, over motherfucking Hackney, London, England's motherfucking Michael Venom Page, who's just, kind of at the end of his career's days, you know what I mean? Towards the end of it anyway. He just wanted to end it over here, and who's to say if he loses this decision, he doesn't take off the cards, kind of pass the torch and end it. Not to say that Sam Patterson is going to be a champ or anybody magnificent, but neither was Michael Venom Page in the UFC. You understand what I'm saying to you? Sam Patterson can be champion in other organizations as well, you know what I mean? So, and he can hit, bro. That's a factor. He can crack. He's long. He's rangy. Just like him, he can match that. You know what I mean? He's fast. He's mobile. He might not be as crafty or make it look like Michael Venom Page makes it look. But if Michael Venom Page runs into the wrong hook, it could be a wrap for him. And I'm taking Sam Patterson, man. I'm taking a dog, man. Luke Riley versus Michael Oswell. Luke, minus 230, 26 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach, taking on the Texas kid, Michael Oswell. 25 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Luke Riley is going to have to neutralize Michael Oswell's output. Now, in my personal opinion, if I'm not mistaken, right, the ball put out a bit of volume, man. Well, 9.56 strikes at a 45% accuracy, 54% striking defense. Luke's landing 2.5 at a 60% accuracy with a 46% defense, 0% for both of them on the takedown accuracy, and a 42 defense for Luke, 57 defense for Mike. Luke's is earned off of 1 fight though, Bogdan Grand, and Mike's is earned off of a couple. You know what I mean? 3 of them. He is 1 and 2, losing to Bogdan via decision, and because Bogdan took him down, and losing to Oki via decision, and then knocking out Lucas Almeida most recently, where Luke also fought Bogdan, but knocked him out. So, Mike throw them hands, man. Mike throw them motherfucking hands, man. 6 knockout wins, never been knocked out, 5 decision wins, 3 decision losses. Rear naked choked as an amateur by Ethan in his first ever amateur fight. Lost to Yaiter, lost to Bogdan, and lost to Bolaji. That is Mike. And Luke, knocking jokers out, man. Luke knocking jokers out. Is he gonna be the first to knock Mike out, or is he gonna win his first decision in the backyard? I'm picking him to win. Mike has a 1 year youth advantage. Luke has a 1 inch height advantage. They both have the same reach. Level of opposition, 11-3, 12-0, but Michael has competed somewhat against a higher level of opposition in 1 or 2 fights. Luke's the pick. We're going to see what happens on fight night. Moving on to the main event. I'm down to 10%. This shit about to tap out on me, so I got to see what's going on around this motherfucker anyway, man. Evloev, minus 270, 32 years old, 5'7" with a 72.5-inch reach. The Miracle, Leron Murphy, plus 220, 34 years old, 5'9" with a 73.5-inch reach. There's a 2-year youth advantage for Evloev, 2-inch height advantage, and a 1-inch reach advantage for Leron Murphy. One hell of a power and one hell of a speed advantage for Leron Murphy. More diverse in the striking department, in my personal opinion. More lethal, more dangerous, man. Evloev does hold the wrestling and the grappling advantages. You understand what I'm saying to you? He is relentless. He will chain it together, and he will not stop until he is stopped. And if he is not stopped, I don't know what this looks like after 25 minutes. Probably an Evloev win. I'm grabbing my nuts. I'm rocking with the Miracle, Leron, to go ahead and pull one off here. I don't necessarily believe he needs one. I believe he just needs to show up, land a couple shots on the button, hit that man on that soup cooler, hit him on that snot box, ring that fucking bell, rattle that fucking brain, and close the fucking curtains on him. You know what I mean? I think he can get taken down and controlled in the first round, taken down and controlled most of the second round, taken down a little bit in the third round, a little bit less in the fourth, and maybe find that finish in the fifth. He's going to crack him. He's going to touch him. He's going to hurt him. He's got 25 minutes to do it. I'm going to rock with him. 19-0, 17-0-1. Somebody's O's got to go. We could do without that one and who that one came from in the draw column, but it is what it is. Evloev's never been really rocked, never been dropped, never been hurt, never been wobbled, never been compromised. If anybody's going to do any of the above, it's this man right here. It's a lot of reasons I feel like Ilya didn't want to defend his title with this man. This man's never been rocked, never been hurt, never been compromised. You know what I'm saying? Where on the other side, you know, he has. Somebody's always going to go, and I just don't think he wanted to test that water. Evloev has a way of racking up takedowns, even in a 3-round fight, landing 160-something strikes. We know Leron Murphy can land them strikes. We know he can get taken down 4, 5, 6, 7 times and still land 150 motherfucking strikes. And if he lands the proper one, it will be good night. So I'm grabbing my nuts. I'm rocking with him. I'm taking a dog. We in a dog house. This Fresh Start Mixed Martial Arts, man. That's the lineup. That's what it looked like, man. You know what I mean? Taking Leron Murphy, taking Luke Riley, taking Sam Patterson. I'm taking Austin Lane. That just happened today. You know what I mean? I'm taking Christian Leroy Duncan, but I feel like Roman Dolidze could fuck me and a lot of people up. I'm taking Curtis Campbell with extreme caution. Axel Sola, Nathaniel Wood, Mario Pinto, MK, the Boken Bear, Shamrock, Chanel, and Melissa Mullins, man. That's my lineup. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Stay tapped in. Peace and blessings.